Coming up this week on Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays, do you need a GUI for proc CPU info? No? Well, somebody made one anyway, and Suse comes to Windows 10. Yay, question mark?
The KDE Connect indicator was forked, but now someone has taken the code and forked that too. And all's well in Ivy Bridge. Mesa has the next stable version all lined up.
Do you understand anything about quantum physics? I sure don't. But why not contribute to quantum computers anyway? You know that snap packages are all about sandboxing. Well, now you're going to have them without the sandboxing.
I don't know, man. Snap packages both anger and confuse me, as do many things, including this from Ubuntu. This is up Ubuntu. Ow.
Yes.
Yes. Get hardware information, CPU, main port, GPU, RAM under the Ubuntu is a quick little tutorial. This is something, I'm guessing this is made for people that are coming off the Windows and they need the nice little GUI. This is called Inex, and not one, not two. If you guess 3 separate PPAs you needed to install to get this up and running, you, sir, one bite-sized Snickers.
And one of these PPAs, Gambas. So yes, this is written in the Linux equivalent of Visual Basic. Sure.
Yeah, pretty much. I do have it installed. It doesn't seem to... Well, on my end, it doesn't report the processor voltage all that well because it says I'm running at 2.4 volts, which I'm not. I'm running at 120, 125, I know. And on Ven's end, it doesn't report the temperature.
Oh, what are you talking about? No, this is an AMD processor. Of course, it naturally runs at 127 degrees centigrade. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I personally use LSHW, which can output an HTML file, or for monitoring and all that stuff, temperatures, I use pSensor, which is quite good.
No, it should be fair. I mean, this shows you your GPU, MOBO, audio drives. This thing thinks I'm running Ubuntu for some reason, even though it's a 1604.
Because you're running XFCE.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, it's all there. I mean, it does work, but if we're going to be perfectly honest, yeah, I'm kind of with Strider. This is a 16 megabyte download. The only thing that I had to modify over here on the 1604 box is, like, I had to remove the A flag to get it to launch. But once that was done, it was a thing. But Scott Bakula called. He wants his computer back.
So quantum physics, quantum computing, do you know anything about this? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it works. But anyway, some people do, and they're working on it. And one of these companies that work on quantum computers is D-Wave, and they're working on some hardware that the Mesa and Google are working on. And they just open sourced a bunch of their software they use for this. So you might not be able to run it. Well, you will be able to run it on a regular computer, but you will lose most of the advantages of quantum computers. But if that's your kind of thing, then yeah, do look.
Yeah, it's always great to read news about stuff getting open sourced. Now, quantum computing specifically, it's still going to be something which won't materialize in the next 5 years, and I'm being generous here. It's probably going to be 10, but the technology isn't just hard, it's still prohibitive price-wise. It's very, 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 very expensive to actually get
the interesting about this is what is being open sourced for the D-Wave is QBSolve, and that's the bit of kit that has been open sourced. And what it's basically going to do, it's going to allow developers to program in D-Wave, just D-Wave machines without needing a background in quantum physics or Scott Bakula. However you want to look at it. It's kind of like a wicked advanced version of Lego Mindstorm. But it only works with the D. Wait.
Yes.
Go with the flow, baby. That's right. 10 reasons to use Flowbilly on your Linux's video editor. Yes. Give me all the reasons. Put it all over my face, neck, and chest. 1, it's lightweight. Strider, you're a huge fan of lightweight video editors, I hear.
Not at all. I mean, I've seen that and I was, okay, I'm done with this. Lightweight is the the thing I want the least from the video editor. I don't want it to be lightweight. I would want it to be complete and stable. That's it. I mean, I don't want something light. If I'm editing videos, I have a good computer to do that. So no, I don't need that.
But it's fast.
It's fast, but I mean, they say it's fast, it's stable, it's lightweight, it's everything. So I don't know. I mean, I might try it, but if it's anything less than KDE and Live, then no. I mean, I don't have any interest.
I'm definitely looking at it, and it's kind of like that triangle. And like this one, you can have like one of two things: you can have lightweight, or you can have stable. You can pick one of those two. That said, I mean, if you need something this lightweight, nothing against this project. I don't mind this project. It's lightweight in the sense that it's not very feature complete. But if you need something that lightweight and your system's that wicked simple, just use like the built-in video editor on YouTube, because it's effectively what you're going to be looking for.
Yeah.
One of the 10 reasons, like, well, it's like very much stable. And I might take the Pepsi challenge, because a lot of times, people will look at this, they're like, oh, well, I'm editing my cat video. Let me throw multi-gigabytes of audio and video into it, and we'll see how wicked stable this thing is at the end of the day. But in the same vein...
Yes. So do you want a very simple video editor? Well, you can't...
No, Strider, I've already typed out the FFmpeg command while you were saying all that.
Yes, this is basically something that you could do with the command line, but in the command line, you can't view the actual video, which is kind of annoying.
That's why I got Emacs.
Yes, sure. But yeah, this is a VidCutter. It will allow you to cut like portions of your video and just save them. The neat thing about this, and I think this is what it actually does, it will save the portions of the video without re-encoding them. So it will be very fast. It will just save the bits you want without like going through what you usually have with KDE and Live or OpenShot, all these kind of editors. But I mean, some people prefer copying and pasting timestamps on the command line. Don't you, Ben?
That's a stab at you there, Ben. But yeah, no, I
know. I was going to type, so just shut the hell up. But
no, as much as it pains me to admit, Strider kind of has a point there. And you were saying in the notes, Ben, that yes, FFmpeg GUIs are useless to you specifically. But for, the idiot masses, and I'm including myself and Strider and just about everyone else who is not you or didn't develop FFmpeg, we don't really know about all the functionality that is available for it. So having a simple GUI or even a fancy GUI with all the bells and whistles that exposes that functionality is a good idea. And Strider kind of has a point there, in the same way that most video editors don't really expose the AV codec copy option. You always have to re-encode the video if you run them. This one will just do the copy.
Okay, that's brilliant. I, for one, just don't want to live on a world where Strider has a point. But coming up next...
That's fair. I understand that, but he did.
G'day, mate.
Now, this is Mate, the desktop environment 1.16.1, which was only available for Ubuntu 16.10 because the 1.16 branch of Mate it introduces full GTK3 functionality into Mate, which was it was barely even there with 1.12 and 1.14, but the new version, everything GTK3 is fully implemented. Now, for the Mate apps specifically, not everything is running in GTK3 yet. According to the post that Martin made on the ubuntumate.org blog, he says that in Grandpa, the file compressor, the notification daemon, the Mate pull kit, the session manager, and the Mate terminal are all running in GTK3. So that's good. That's progress.
It's pretty good. I definitely want to say something to Dak. We've had Martin on the show, and that was the first question we asked him, Mate or Mate, and he went, I don't care.
I don't. I know how it's spelled. It comes from the Spanish mat, and I'm not going to spell it like that. It's written mate. I'm going to read it mate. Sorry. But yeah,
we could
it's...
make this an Australian project.
I had a chance to try it because I am running Ubuntu Mate. I may have installed KDE besides it, but I am, for the most part, still running Mate most of the time. And I don't know about Compiz, but with Compton, if you're using the Compton compositor, it works really well. And if you have it's one of the features that I like. It's when a window spawns, it sort of fades in. It's a pretty quick fade, but it fades in. It's a nice, if you're in the dark, you don't want windows kind of randomly popping up and giving you an epileptic seizure. English. But yeah, if you have that fade in and fade out effect with the GTK3 support, and I tried it with all of the ones that Martin lists in the post there, it's so smooth. So smooth.
Strider,
so that's good.
Strider, do you plan on downgrading to 1604 so you can try this?
No, I mean, if you have to use a PPA to update something as central as your desktop, then why not just update to 1610? I mean, I use PPAs. I have no problem.
Strider, I'm going to call strawman fallacy on that one.
He doesn't know those big words, Pedro.
Okay, so you just compared upgrading the desktop to upgrading an entire distribution on a 6 months basis. On a 6 month basis.
Listen, man, you're talking to the man that updates his PCs like you update a Mac. He takes them out back and shoots them.
No, I've never reinstalled my OS. Since I've bought it, I've never reinstalled anything.
Well, I might give this a go. Hopefully it's not as horribly busted as the 1404 one was, just made out of nope sauce. I'll report back on that next week. But the future is here, ladies and gentlemen. openSUSE has arrived on Windows 10. Hallelujah. Praise Flying Spaghetti Monster if he was made out of nope. But yeah, this is the thing, man. You can now get the SUSE up and running on the Windows 10 little shell of why God, oh why, Strider.
Yeah, I would like to try it at some point. I don't know what's the big difference between running this or running Ubuntu, except that you will have to use Zypper instead of apt. But yeah, I mean, it seems that you need a valid activated copy of Windows to try this out. So I don't have that. I just have like those free copies given out by Microsoft. So no, I'm not able to test it. So, but I'm sure this will get something that clown from Bulket Novel or Tech Rights to write about.
Pedro, what are your thoughts on this nightmare fuel?
It's nightmare fuel. I mean, first of all, if you're using the Windows subsystem for Linux on Windows, chances are you probably want to use certain specific tools which you're used to working with under Linux. Say you run Linux at home and then you go to work and you have to use Windows. So you install Ubuntu or what have yous on your, it's mostly Ubuntu, on the WSL, and you run that. So you can run your stuff. Now, for the sake of, ease of use and working with the tools that you're most familiar with, why in the name of everything unholy would you do it with SUSE?
Why wouldn't you normally just use the built-in Ubuntu? And I'm definitely going to say this. Stupid monkey IT department, or stupid monkey, chief technology officer, because seriously, I've worked in these environments where they won't let you install something unless it has the word enterprise scribbled on it somewhere. I'm not making that up, but it would make you snap, just with a fury.
Yes, so snap. We talked about this packaging formats a bunch of times. And one of its features is that it confines the file system to just a part of the file system. You can't access everything. So one of the new options given out by Snapd 2.20 is that you can bypass this and give it what they call the classic confinement policy. And this will give access to snaps to the whole file system, which some tools will require. So that in this blog post on Ubuntu Insights, they give this example of ASCII Cinema, where they make a snap out of it, and then you can use this, and it will access everything. So you lose something that was specific to snaps, but this will allow to snap more things. So kind of a good thing. And I was waiting for a feature like this to land before considering snaps using them for my projects. That's good.
So the thing here that you need to keep in mind is the good thing, in Strider's opinion, was in how snaps basically became or acquired the exact same functionality that Debs already had. Yes, because what was the big point about, introducing different containerized package and managing those packages? Well, apparently someone at Canonical said, F it, we'll do it our way, and now you can have snaps behave basically like Debs already did, like RPMs already did.
Not exactly. Not exactly, because it's
not exactly. I'm exaggerating, Strider. Yeah, that's the point.
No, but it still provides a fully working piece of software that has no dependency or stuff like this. So
it's called app images. That already existed.
Yeah, app images, that's also the same thing, but Flatpaks are also the same thing.
No, the one point that differed app images from the snaps and the flats were the fact that app images weren't containerized. They were just a CH root that ran the application with, a read-only file system, but they weren't containerized. They didn't have a sandbox. The sandboxing bits were the really interesting stuff about snaps and flats. And maybe even the need of not requiring to have all of the dependencies contained in the app image, and having just one snap provide sort of a runtime for the whole thing. Now they've scrapped that, and they're just using the system libraries. So again, I ask, what's the point?
Well, it's optional. That's the thing. It won't be the default. It's just for tools that require it. So. Because before that, it wasn't possible to snap everything. Now it is. So that's cool.
What's the gentlemen, let's just all agree that we can be thankful that this is a Ubuntu project. Therefore, it'll stay a Ubuntu, and the rest of the industry will never adopt it, and we won't have to ever deal with it.
Well, I'm using snaps right now with the live updates kernel.
Of course you are.
Case in point. Pedro, we need to thank some lovely, beautiful party people.
Yes, we do. We have some lovely, lovely people who every now and again kick us a few shekels. They see us walking down the street and they'll throw a dime at our heads, pretty much literally. And if you don't happen to see us, if you don't live in our particular neck of the woods, you can also throw, say, about 4 quarters a week at our heads by going over to patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. This Patreon campaign we have going here is currently sitting at 161 a week with 95 Patreons. Woohoo! And this very show that we're doing right now was brought to you by you.
No, yes. It's awesome, man. If you want to look at that, we got some reward tiers. Go in there, pick out one that you like, something that you find sexy and attractive, just like us. This week, we have Ryan. We got a bunch of hate mail for Gring, I believe. Gringy. Right,
Gringy.
And also Pizza Dude, long time listener to these shows, and have both kicked in. We have beautiful party Patreons, Strider's one, Truggy, let's see, Jill, Steve, Dak. I know I'm missing out people. I'm just doing this at the top of my head working right now.
So many people.
Everyone's
Chris Fisher,
awesome.
Matt Hartley, Cody Cooper, Stephen McLaughlin.
Just thank you for keeping us loud, live, and independent. You are beautiful. But back to it.
Up next. Well, you remember KDE Connect. We've mentioned it a couple of times. This is the KDE Connect indicator, which was available for those, those in the Linux community that don't want to run KDE, and I kind of understand them. At the same time, I kind of want KDE to become good enough, but that's beside the point. It gives you some of the functionality that the regular KDE Connect implementation does. There are a couple of things missing, and the biggest stickler with it was the fact that the project was dead, for the most part. It hasn't been updated over the past 2 years. So someone took the KDE Connect indicator code and forked it, and they made their own, and they've already introduced a whole bunch of new stuff. They now support sending multiple files from the indicator, new feature to actually find the phone instead of having to use the phone to find a PC and send a notification through there. They fixed a bunch of stuff, and 2 things that I noticed aren't working with this particular indicator were the exact same things that weren't working with the previous one, which was you can't, if you have your phone or your tablet in the exact same network, and if you're using KDE with KDE Connect, you can just go to Dolphin and you can browse through your phone's file system as though it were just a network drive. That's awesome. Makes everything really, really simple. And also the ability to say if you get a text on your phone, you can reply directly from the desktop. You can just hit the reply button on the notification and type the reply. It's awesome. But those 2 aren't working with the indicator. Now, everything else, like clipboard synchronization between your desktop and the mobile device, that works. The routing audio from your not routing audio, controlling your audio player, that's the one. The routing audio thing, they're still working on it for KDE Connect proper, but they haven't finished it yet. Like controlling your audio or video player from your phone like a remote, that works. You can also use your touchscreen as a touchpad for your PC. That works too. So something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I installed it, and I don't think it's compatible with GNOME Shell. So it's using a lib indicator, and this will work with Unity or XFC, but GNOME Shell, I don't think it uses that technology. But KDE Connect itself, I mean, it works great. I mean, you don't get all the features that you would get with KDE, but most of this, yes, I mean, it works. Also, I want to make to note that the article is from Web Update, and it's back.
Oh, Strider, where can people find
Guess he wasn't dead after all.
He wasn't dead.
No, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to take a look at everything will be in our show notes. If you're watching us on the YouTubes or anything like that, click down in the description after you're done hitting that thumbs up button, because that sounds creepy saying that. Up next.
Just another quick update. We've been bringing this up in Linux Gamecast Weekly, that other show we do on Saturdays, with a bigger, much more foul mouth, as it were. This is the Mesa 17.0 announcement. And why is it 17.0? Wasn't the last version 13.0? Yes, it was. But they've changed their naming scheme to a yearly number. So as 17.0 is the first one, then 17.1, then when we get to 2018, it'll be 18.0, so on and so forth. The biggest thing, and it's the reason they're actually delaying the code freeze, they're waiting on Ivy Bridge to catch up to Haswell and the rest of the i965 drivers, so they all have OpenGL 4.5. Now, Haswell already has, if you download the Git and you build it, you already get OpenGL 4.5 exposed. The Ivy Bridge, there's still a few issues, and it will only work for V2 Ivy Bridge. It's basically the same one as Haswell. The V1 was based on Sandy Bridge. That will have to be at a later date. So if you have a V2 Ivy Bridge old machine kicking around, you will have OpenGL 4.5. And at this point, for the first time in history, the open source Linux driver will provide better OpenGL support than the proprietary Intel drivers do in Windows. In Windows, in Ivy Bridge, you only get OpenGL 4.0, and you only get OpenGL 4.3 on Haswell. Now you get 4.5 on all of them in Linux. Awesome.
Strider, you were very excited about this development.
Yes, because I like how this works. Look at that patch. It's 2 lines. You just have to put replace 4.2 with 4.5, and there you have it. You have OpenGL 4.5 support. I mean, if we can do that, I mean, we could replace all the DirectX 9 and Wine with DirectX 11, and then we will have DirectX 11 support.
Yeah, you should have seen the patch set that Iago Terrell submitted to introduce the FP64 shaders for Haswell alone. I mean, those were like we're almost 30 files just for one extension.
Anyway, all this talk about OpenGL's made me a bit peckish. Maybe we should have a slice of pie?
Bit of a bite. Oh, that's fancy.
All right. This is a bit of a Pi SA, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. To give you the full schedule of a UK Picademy events coming up this year in 2017. You can get your Pi education on in the UK. It's up there. It's at raspberrypi.org. You check out their blog. They'll have this. It's going to be in Cardiff, so you can go visit the shard and not the shard. What's that thing called? Torchwood Tower. I can't. Blanking. Manchester, Birmingham, Cambridge, and London. So check that business out. But
I'm moving to one of those places.
we got Death Star.
We got Death Star.
Interactive Persistence, a Vision of Globe. Strider, tell me about it. Never heard of it.
This is I would say this is a useless use of Raspberry Pi of the week, maybe, because I think you can do that with something a bit more simple than a full-blown 1 gigahertz computer. But you have to build something like quite complex. It will have a bunch of LEDs on a rotating axis, and it will display stuff in 3D, like a Death Star. I don't know, a Death Star maybe.
Yeah, you can't really. You'll probably be able to render, say, a globe. If you put enough LEDs on it, if you increase the resolution, as it were, you may even be able to have a real-time display of the world's, how many planes are in the air and what routes they're taking. You could do a lot of stuff, assuming you're willing to spend a lot of time setting up those LEDs correctly and then programming each individual one of them. Contact Linux Nuru on Chatroom if you would like to learn more about that.
I gotta say, this is the perfect project for getting back at a very hated epileptic roommate. So
yes.
So a bit about the technical details. It turns out about 300 rotation per minute, and gives you with that about 10 FPS, which isn't bad. 10 FPS is alright. The resolution is 360 by 168, so I mean it's all right for a device like this.
Okay, so we got one last bit of news here. Hi TSA.
Yeah, this one is one that I've, for the longest time, ever since I saw the first Raspberry Pi and I saw that people had, a different company had made a touchscreen for it, and then they eventually started making them themselves. And this is exactly what I had in mind. It's a smartphone, quote unquote, with a little teeny tiny coil aerial on the top left of the phone, so to speak, with a power bank hot glued to the side for the sake of portability, according to the author. And what he did, he actually replicated the Raspberry Pi Zero and put a lid, which is a proto board, to emulate like keyboard on a phone. You remember the old keyboards, right? The physical ones with the buttons. And he has everything, like just about everything you need to make one yourself. And he says that if you don't value your time very highly, you can build this for around $50.
You can build it with an Arduino as well.
Yes, you could also build it with an Arduino, but the Raspberry Pi Zero is a full-featured SoC, so chances are, if you can make this work, it will be a much more feature-complete phone.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, it'll basically run all the Linux, and we need to start Linux Weekly Daily Wednesday Rodeo, so we'll have this game to see how far into the airport you can make it while talking on one of these devices before getting nope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why are you talking to your boss?
This is finally a project that uses a Pi Zero instead of the full-blown Raspberry Pi, but it makes sense because otherwise you would have like a very fat phone that you can barely carry around. So that's neat. For the Arduino one, I'm not sure about this because this is kind of backwards. We have all these projects using Raspberry Pis when they could use an Arduino, like the Death Star thing. And then we have a project that would require a Raspberry Pi very much, and they managed to make it with an Arduino. What?
Because
well, maybe if you're sitting at home and this angers and confuses you as well, you're like, hey, you said something wrong, or hey, you guys are doing a weird job. How would they get in contact with us?
Well, if you really think we did a weird job, you could go to linuxgamecast.com, you hit the contact button, you fill out the form, and you say, you guys are weird. You don't have to do that, of course. You just make sure you fill out the form. It's pretty easy. You can select LWDW for feedback for this very show, or if you want to send some hate mail for Linux Gamecast Weekly, just pick that one accordingly as well. You can also leave us a comment on YouTube, which is what this person, yes, Monster Cameron, you remember him. He left us a comment on the on our last video, and this is about the what's it called? GPD Pocket. Yes. I should just read it. Pedro Sai. Research much? Passive aggressive. GPD Pocket has a working prototype. Hell, they are probably already done designing it. Then the MSRP is $4.99. So I had to inquire because, yeah, that's about as descriptive and enlightening as, I don't know, running headfirst into a brick wall. The GPD Pocket is that 7-inch PC, sort of like the old Vios, that you could. It has a touchscreen and it has a full QWERTY keyboard and a bunch of other stuff. And they have a mock-up, a fully designed mock-up. They had a quote-unquote working prototype, which only one Japanese blog had taken pictures of, and you only see it actually working when it's in the middle of two other computers, so you can't really see the cables running behind it, if there were any. We don't know, but Monster Cameron pointed it out, and that's correct. I did say that I didn't think they had a working prototype because they were going to Indiegogo. Chances are if they had a working prototype, they would have gone to Kickstarter, but hey, what do I know? And also, the MSRP, yes. Ven did ask last week what the MSRP of this was going to be. And there was only one forum post with a leaked Japanese spec sheet for the GPD Pocket, which said that the listing price was going to be $5.99, not $4.99. When I asked where Monster Cameron had found that $4.99, he gave me a link to some weird web store website that I'd never heard of, and they have a pre-order available for $4.99. So at the end of the day, you need to take all of this information about this product until we have anything factual with a grain of crystallized soy sauce.
All I'm going to say, Strader, back me up on this maybe for once in your life. $4.99 and 7-inch do not belong in the same sentence.
No, exactly. That's what I was going to say, exactly the same thing. For a device like this, I mean, I would probably get one at $150, maybe. Maybe $200. But this is the problem with devices that are not like mass produced by large companies. It's the same exact problem with the Pyra, because the Pyra is a neat little device, but it's way too expensive for what it is. Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
looking forward to that hate mail.
Like prototypes or stuff like this.
Okay, well, that's the thing. Hey, exactly. If you want to get back with us, just do what Pedro said like 5 minutes ago and make it happen. But we're going to get out of here so you can get back to work or back to staring at goats or whatever you do on Wednesdays, because that's what I do. I don't know about yourself. Anyway, you can always find me on the Twitter nets. I'm at Vin Stone, or just plus Vin Stone on Google+. And Google+ is back to threatening to change, and they're super serial this time.
Oh, yeah. They actually have a full white banner saying, it's going away. You can try it now. No, Google, I won't try it now. I don't want to. If you want to find me on Google+, though, you can find me at +PedroMateos or on Twitter at unaccounted4.
Yeah, I have to get better at work. I can't start goats. I would like to, though. But yeah, if you want to find me, you can find me at +MathieuCommodore on Google+, or Striker on Twitter. And also check out lutris.net, because I also take care of it.
It is a beautiful project. Okay, that's going to do it for us. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.